wish to come true would wish for something like Solomon wishes today? How many of us would wish for more wishes as our first wish? Right? Well, dear friends, today's message is a journey of self-discovery. It's about uncovering the transformative power of humility in our lives. As we explore the scriptures today, we learn how embracing humble leadership can lead us to personal growth and self-improvement. That's what Solomon wishes for. The story of King Solomon's prayer teaches us that true wisdom begins with humility. Like Solomon, we too can approach life with humility, recognizing that we don't have all the answers. By seeking wisdom from within and beyond, we open ourselves up to personal growth and development. To practice humble leadership in our lives, we must first be honest with ourselves and acknowledge our strengths and weaknesses. Embracing humility allows us to learn from our mistakes, seek guidance from others, and embark on a journey of continuous self-improvement. Such humility as seen in this passage is unlike what many of us conceive as humility. When I seek to better understand humility, I turn to the lessons of St. Ignatius of Loyola. St. Ignatius was a soldier who sought glory and power, but after a military injury left him severely wounded, he realized that he wanted to imitate the saints to seek a different sort of glory, a Christian glory. His first steps once he became Christian were characterized by what he, and I think many of us, conceive of as the definition of humility. He was constantly repenting, going to confession, but ultimately fostering shame and self-hatred. What he ultimately realized was that this was born of the same narcissism that had characterized his early life. It wasn't humility. This profoundly troubled him. And in a moment of deep spiritual conversion that touched his very core and transformed his heart, St. Ignatius felt God tell him, no, this harsh penance, starvation, self-denial to the extreme is not the way. The way of my son is peace. And how can you be at peace if you hate yourself and you trouble yourself with such deep shame? So he dug deeper. He realized, as the gospel tells us today, the pearl of great price, the thing worth giving up everything for in Christianity, is the message of forgiveness found in Christ. That the hardest thing to do, the least narcissistic thing to do, and the most profound thing to do is to forgive. That perhaps the greatest original sin of humanity is our proclivity for self-hatred and our absence of self-forgiveness. St. Ignatius then tells us that we are called to self-actualization, that this happens via self-reflection, that our better understanding of our human nature, our God-given image of God, comes through self-reflection. By recognizing our inner worth and potential, we can let go of self-doubt and negative beliefs that hold us back. The kingdom of heaven is brought about through action. Christ tells us that repeatedly. One of St. Ignatius's greatest gifts to the Christian people has been his daily examen. Now I'm going to read through it today as a precursor to what we'll begin and we'll announce more later, our lessons that we'll be doing before Masses in the coming weeks that will be a little bit more intensive than even what we're used to, but provide such wonderful insight, I think, and knowledge of the Christian tradition. And this will be something I'll be teaching next week. I'll be talking about St. Ignatius, his life, and really mindfulness in the Christian tradition to achieve a greater love of himself. But his daily examen begins with number one, becoming aware of God's presence, settling in the moment. Then we review the day with gratitude. So you're sitting and you're thinking about how the day has been, or how the previous day has been if you do it in the morning. You then pay attention to your emotions. You name them. Our proclivity, our natural inclination to be not aware of our own emotions is one of our greatest troubles, I think, as humans. It's what denies us love and peace in our life when we don't recognize the feelings that we have and address them. So then he tells us we should choose one feature of the day and pray from it, whether it was a good one, a bad one, a hard one. I challenge you folks to engage with this. He then says, choose something tangible and identifiable, something real that you look forward to tomorrow, and name it within yourself. Really be aware, be mindful of what is to come. Dear friends, this wisdom that St. Ignatius shares with us is born of Solomon's prayer. It's the assurance of God's redemptive work when we practice humility. It's the pearl of great price identified by St. Ignatius in our heart. Embrace being a humble leader in our jobs, in your churches, in your families, with this as a guiding principle in your journey of personal growth and self-help. We will preach the gospel through our actions, whether it's a loving gospel or a not loving one. Our love should start with ourselves. St. Francis tells us to preach the gospel always and use words when necessary. That's how people receive the gospel. I know few people who converted or felt converted via somebody telling them about God. I know loads who were converted when they were shown God. Our experiences are the truth, are the true hidden treasure. As you embrace humble leadership in yourself, in your life, in your family, you will find that personal growth and self-improvement become natural aspects of your life. When you're mindful of yourself and aware of who you are, change occurs. Remember, by valuing humility, you unleash your power to grow, evolve, and reach your full potential. May your life be a testament to the transformative and uplifting influence of humble leadership in your pursuit of personal growth and self-help. Embrace the journey with courage and determination, knowing that within humility lies the key to a fulfilled and enriched life. And friends, I leave you with St. Ignatius, or with what St. Ignatius of Loyola learned the hard way. Self-hatred is only conquered by focusing on your own emotions and not over-focusing on sin, because that is a fruitless and harmful endeavor. Let us preach the gospel to the world, a gospel that's full of love, acceptance, and tolerance.